Let's just take a minute to be thankful and have a little story time. Let's see if I can adjust this camera a little bit. Don't tune out when I tell you that. These things are, these stories that I'm going to walk you through are interesting. They have a point, and they are valuable, and they're going to help with your mindset in this business. I want to talk about relationships, and I want to talk about relationships that you currently have and relationships that you will have when you get into this business. If we just take the financial status of people, and that's not how we judge people, right? We're not going to judge people on financial status. We're not going to base who they are. We're not going to place value on their soul based on the amount of money they have. It's a business thing that we categorize people with income in this business because those are most likely the families that can afford to do Christmas lights. But it has no indication of the value of their soul. There was a young man that worked at Popeyes, and this lady comes to the drive-thru one day, and her order was a little difficult, and he handled it with class. This young man was 24, 25 years old, out of college, maybe still trying to figure out what he wanted to do with his life, and she comes through, and he was very pleasant, very happy, very accommodating. And so accommodating that the lady took notice of that's not normal. This guy was super kind, and he did his job really well. The next time that she goes through, she said, I'm going to make an order that's very difficult for him, and I'm going to change it, and I'm going to modify it, and I want to see how he handles it. So she did. She was ordering for her company, and she put an order in, changed it, modified it, made it very difficult. He, again, handled it with class, grace, kindness, and professionalism, and didn't act like he was having to go out of his way to accommodate her, because it was his job. As she rolls through the drive-thru, she hands him her card. She said, I really appreciate the way you handled that, how responsive you were, and I'm appreciative of your kindness. She said, if you know anyone that's like you, that needs a job, then have them call me or talk to him after work and have him give me a call. We're looking for good people like you. After he gets off work, he looks at the card and says, I'm going to give her a call. So a young man calls her and says, Miss So-and-so, that person you're looking for is me. I would love to explore a career in what you do. He does the grunt work. He gets the job, and he does grunt work for 3 to 5 years. And never complains, is always kind, grateful, shows gratitude, is thankful to her for giving him the opportunity for the grunt work. 35 years go by, and this lady is very successful and has a lot of opportunities, and she saw an opportunity come up to where he could run his own company that incorporates with the company that she runs. Large company. And she goes and talks to her boss, the owner, and says, we need this. We need this service inside of our company by someone that we trust, not in-house, but as a business that is devoted to us. Priority one, and they can do other stuff too, but priority one would be us. I have the guy, and it's this guy. And so, long story short, this guy now runs a several $million company because of how he handled a Popeyes order. Now, you may think, that may sound like it's made up. It's not. That is a story from one of my customers that we are doing their Christmas lights around Thanksgiving. That's a real story that I had the opportunity to stand around in her kitchen and talk about and get advice on raising my children and how I pour my life into theirs and train them up in the way that they should go in order to be kind and respectful and love people and see people where they're at. And no matter what you're doing, do it to the best of your ability and with fullness and gratitude and kindness. So we got that job. We got the job, I think, because we connected. And there's a power of connection. There should be a power of connection with the customers that you have, whether you meet with them in person. That's the biggest way to connect. Or maybe if you grow large enough, at some point, there's got to be a point of connection somehow, even if you're not meeting with every customer. In the 12 years that I've been doing this, if we go on the jobs that I've sold, probably sold 150 in the new company. No, say 100 in the new company and 450 in the old company. So 550 times 2. So if I sell half the jobs, half the quotes I've been on, be about 11. I've been on about 1,100 quotes. And it's not about the number, it's about the connection with the people that I'm meeting with. There's one guy that created a connection with, and we got a really good job from it. He runs a multi-million-dollar business, and I get to kind of extract information from him when I have the opportunity to meet with him. So it's not just about the value of exchanging $1 for a Christmas light. To me, it's about the value of exchanging. I really enjoy people's stories and where they've been. And if I meet people that have been married for 50 years, I want to know, like, what makes you tick? What makes this work? Whether I get the job or not. We should be gleaning experience from people who have done things that we haven't done. So the people have been married 50 years. I haven't been married 50 years. I've been married 20 years. So how'd you get to where you're at? You guys are in love, I can tell. Or you sacrifice for each other. What are you doing? Other relationships, a good buddy of mine, our kids have played ball together. He works for a company, and we ended up getting their Christmas lights, and it was all because of him. It's all these connections and relationships. There was another guy I met last week where they live here part-time in another state part-time, and he has a construction land development business. And my wife and I are in remodels, and not land development, but we do remodels, and so we got to connect on that. And so if I ever have a question about land development, I'm going to call that guy. And I'm not going to ask him for information for free. I'm going to ask him if I can take him to lunch, or how can I give you something equivalent. I don't want to ever just ask somebody for something without offering something in return. That's called the law of reciprocity. Of when you give something to somebody, it's a natural tendency for them to want to give something back to you. My cousin, good dude, lives in a town about an hour from here, and we do Christmas lights over there. It's an affluent neighborhood and community. He runs with, what would be the right word? I don't want to classify people by money, but highly affluent people. And highly affluent people think differently. And we've gotten several really good jobs just from the trust that I have had with my cousin for my entire life. He knows that if he recommends us, we're going to take really good care of his friends. And that's what he's concerned about. He don't want to recommend anybody that he doesn't trust and is not going to take. When you start getting in with, and really, it's not about getting people to trust you just to get people to trust you. It's about being a trustworthy person, because you're going to be at their house installing lights maybe when they're not there. It's a really nice property. They want you to take care of it. You need to want to take care of it. All those things add into a trustworthy business, and they start from a trustworthy person. That's where I'm going to wrap this up. The nature of the relationship is important, and I think how it's presented in a quote, because that is your opportunity to make your presentation, I feel should be presented in a way that you care more about what they want than what you want. That you care more about who they are than what you can get out of them. Obviously, Christmas lights is why you're there, But the quotes that please don't take this as me patting myself on the back. I'm a naturally curious person, so I ask a lot of questions. Some people might not appreciate it. When they believe that you care, they're likely to do business with you. So don't pretend. Be a genuine human that cares about people. The way that we can do that, the way that I felt we can do that is through the love of Christ. Is the first love that He gives us, and we can essentially spread that out like light into the world. And what better way to segue into the ending is love God, love others, and let your light reflect that. I appreciate you being here. I'm thankful for you guys tagging along in the journey. Put in the comments if you need something, if you need help. If you see that I try to answer all of the questions that I can, or direct you to a video. Our goal here is to help you. And if helping you just helps you and there's no gain for us, that's fine. If helping you helps us and there's gain on our side, that's fine too. This is not sustainable if I only do it for money. That's how I feel. You may feel different, and that's okay. Hey, thanks for being here. I already said the tagline, so I'm out. Peace.